Joe Biden's utterly corrupt Department of Justice getting more and more out of control. Remember when Attorney General Garland testified the FBI was not targeting parents?
I can't imagine any circumstance in which the Patriot Act would be used in the circumstances of parents complaining about their children, nor can I imagine a circumstance where they would be labeled as domestic terrorism.
He lied. A whistleblower revealing the FBI has been using its counterterrorism division to slap threat tags on parents, basically opening FBI files on moms and dads the same way the feds target drug traffickers and Islamic extremists. As you remember, federal agents raided Rudy Giuliani's New York City apartment. They also conducted a pre-dawn raid against conservative journalist James O'Keefe, dragging him out of bed over Biden's daughter's missing diary. What about when you break the law and illegally enter our country? The Justice Department's going to pay you $500,000 now. And the FBI dropped the ball on the dirty Brian Laundrie situation, letting him escape after he came home driving Gabby Petito's car without Gabby. It all just reeks of corruption. Joining me now is former New Jersey governor and author of the new book, Republican Rescue, Saving the Party from Truth Deniers, Conspiracy Theorists, and the Dangerous Policies of Joe Biden, Chris Christie. All right, Governor, before we get to all this, what's your reaction to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict?
Justice was done, Jesse. And, it just reinforces my faith and confidence in the American jury system, that when prosecutors overreach, juries correct it. And it's the best system in the world. And I'm sure Kyle Rittenhouse, you could see from his reaction, feels incredibly relieved after this trauma. A lot of the things that prosecutors and politicians who, when I was U.S. attorney, used to say all the time, politicians shouldn't get into legal cases because they don't know anything about them. But the things that were said about Kyle by the prosecutors and, more importantly, by politicians across the country turned out to be dead wrong. A group of people, citizens who sat there and listened to every bit of admissible evidence on both sides came through with a unanimous not guilty verdict, and I think it just should reinforce all of our faith in the jury system.
We mentioned just now the rogue prosecutors. I mean, we've seen that very clearly at the Department of Justice, rogue FBI agents, and this goes back, decades. The FBI, the Department of Justice, kind of has not a great reputation sometimes when it comes to some underhanded tactics. Zoom out. How do you see this Department of Justice right now under Joe Biden? Because it looks like it's crossing a lot of very, very serious lines.
Well, I could tell you, as a U.S. attorney, when the Patriot Act was passed, as a U.S. attorney who used the Patriot Act against real terrorists, what we assured people all the time, that we would never, ever use it in a way that was improper or inappropriate. And Joe Biden's Justice Department now seems to have broken that pledge. And it's outrageous. I also was one of the people who went up and helped to get the Patriot Act reauthorized during the Bush 43 administration as a U.S. attorney who had used it to stop a shoulder-fired missile case from shooting airplanes down at Newark Airport. That is what the Patriot Act was supposed to be used for, not from parents who are rightfully going and raising concerns to school boards about what their children are being taught. It's outrageous. It is the National Teachers Union, the National School Boards Association, who has unbelievable influence in the White House because Jill Biden is one of their members. And, the Attorney General should show some integrity and knock it off, because his reputation is dropping fast. And
the tactics they're using, these pre-dawn raids, you saw them use those during the Trump administration on Trump associates, and now just, going after both Trump's lawyers in raids, and now raiding a conservative journalist's home over a missing diary. And, Governor, the media seems to think it's all fine.
Listen, pre-dawn raids, when I was U.S. attorney, were used to make sure that people who were dangerous and that we knew were armed would not use those weapons against anyone in their home. themselves or anyone in law enforcement. Doesn't sound like any of those cases fit into that that category, Jesse.
Not at all.
Look, this is the difference. This is the difference between having an attorney general with integrity, like the one I worked under, John Ashcroft, and having an attorney general who is allowing the inmates to run the asylum, which looks like this is what Merrick Garland is becoming.
All right, so tell me about the book, Republican Rescue. Tell me everything we need to know before we go out and hit purchase on Amazon.
Well, look, here's what you need to know. The last time we lost the House, the Senate, and the White House within 2 years, in fact, the only other time that it happened was 1930 to 1932 under Herbert Hoover, and we wound up not getting in the White House for 28 of the next 36 years. Our country will not survive that kind of drought from the Republican Party. So what the book talks about is to say, look, we can't look backwards anymore. We can't be talking about the election of 2020. We can't be looking backwards. We've got to look forwards. We've got to lay out an agenda that contrasts with the awful policies that you were reviewing earlier in the show of Joe Biden, whether it's Afghanistan or the China Olympics, whether it is in runaway inflation, runaway spending, invading our privacy, invading what our children are learning. And what I do is in each one of the chapters talk about what the Republican contrast should be. And how, if we do it, we're going to win back both chambers of Congress in 22 and the White House in 24. But if we don't, we stand the real chance of letting the Democrats change this country radically in a way that we'll never be able to recover from.
All right, very important read. Everybody go check that out. Christie, thanks for coming on.
Jesse, thanks for having me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.